Women of Reddit, what are some unexpected skills that make men attractive for you? Does the ability to be self-aware count? It's attractive when a guy owns his flaws rather than denying them or being hypocritical in an attempt to hide them. My husband is constantly trying to grow as a human and be more understanding and compassionate and do better. And it's absolutely his sexiest quality. He's gregarious and a natural mediator and just takes the world straight on with an open heart. And I look at him every single night so crazy grateful that he's my husband. We've been married 10 years in 2 weeks. Time flies, man. Being able to take care of someone who's under the weather. It's a role that falls to women in most families, so a lot of guys don't get the chance to learn. I never realized how much I'd appreciate a man who could hold my hair out of my face while I puked. Then kiss me when I felt better until it happened. I got really sick before the second date with my college boyfriend. We were supposed to go to a movie, but I was a phlegmy, coughing, feverish mess. I called him, sounding like death, and during a brief conversation he managed to casually find out that I like grilled cheese and tomato soup when I'm sick. 30 minutes later, he shows up at my dorm with a homemade grilled cheese and a bowl of tomato soup. I married that boy. 11 years and a fair number of grilled cheese later. I have zero regrets. Those little things are really the best. I had just made things official with my boyfriend when the next day I ended up at the library after being in class all day. It was midnight and I was texting him about how I hadn't been able to eat since breakfast and I was probably going to pull an all-nighter in order to be ready for my exam the next afternoon. He went radio silent for 20 minutes or so and I assumed he had fallen asleep until he texted me saying he was at the library with snacks for me. He walked all the way across campus at 1 a.m. on a Monday to make sure I had at least something to get me through. I never would have expected him to do that for me. But it was such a sweet gesture and gave me the motivation to get through my studying. I ended up getting an A. Grocery shopping. Not just the literal going to the store and putting things in the cart, but coming up with a meal plan for the week of a variety of well-balanced meals and getting it all. The mental load is real, y'all. This isn't really a skill, but I love it when men are able to genuinely and unashamedly express when they think something is cute. I feel like it's really common to see women squealing and getting really excited over, say, a puppy or a kitten or an adorable cartoon character. But men are kind of expected to not be affected by cuteness or not show it. Same. I view it as a sign of masculinity, when they're not afraid of being viewed as unmanly. Someone who can care for themselves. Take a shower. Clean up your own mess. Caring for one another in a relationship is important, but some guys mistake this for, I need to find myself another mom. I know it says unexpected skills in the title, but there are so many guys who don't seem to realize this. I just wanted to get it out there. I'm currently living with a male roommate. Proactive cleanliness has now moved up much higher on the qualification list. My male roommate barely cleans anything that isn't his own dishes. I'm so glad we don't share a bathroom. His is probably a hellhole. Playing an instrument. But honestly, if they are passionate about something, whether it's art or coding or reading books, it's all a major booster. It shows that they can be dedicated to something, and that's really attractive emo. Baking, cooking, sewing, even just mending a button or hemming in clothing. And general housekeeping. Essentially having basic life skills that prove you are an adult able to fend for themselves and aren't looking for a second mother in a partner. Also being able to intentionally move your tricep, whatever muscle is connected to your upper arm near shoulder outwards facing side. That's impressive AF. My fiancé and his brother have had to chase women off while they were working on sewing projects. Sewing is an incredibly attractive skill. Standing up to others, particularly mates, who are being a-holes. Having a strong moral compass. Empathy and selflessness is seriously sexy. This is what I fall in love with. Braiding hair. My ex could do it and it was so cool. Especially since he could French braid, and it's so exhausting to do those yourself sometimes. What if I can braid my beard? Even better. King. Maths. Anything scientific. General broad knowledge and stone-cold logic on top of it. I also like it when a guy can dance. But this is a whole different area. I seldom find these traits go hand in hand. I know. That's why I'm holding so tightly to my current partner. Ability to play piano. With or without the caveat, well. Haha, I should add well. They don't have to be prolific, but it should sound pleasant. Not only do I agree, but I greatly appreciate your use of prolific. I enjoy that word, and people so rarely use it. My husband used to play trumpet. I wish he still did. Women of Reddit, how can I become attractive to you? Not tying your shoelaces and being polite yet firm when people suggest you tie them. Being able to walk around all day with shoes untied and not tripping over your laces shows that you are willing to take risks and adds an air of mystery, eccentricity to you. To not trip requires a level of skill and constant awareness that not everyone has. Plus it shows you don't really care society expects you to do. I love it when men can whistle nicely. It seems so sweet and happy to me. Like he is able to appreciate the small joys in life. Financial sense. And sensible frugality. A guy who knows how to budget properly, make savings projects, and reduce spending while still living his best life is usually also 1. Intelligent. 2. Good at planning ahead and thinking of the future. And 3. Has a whole slew of related skill sets like basic home repair, cooking, cleaning, yard work, shopping, etc. All things I expect us to share responsibility of. I'm never going to be the sole house manager ever again, and I would never ask someone else to take on that role alone. Granted, I'm a long-haul kind of person. The criteria for spotting an attractive person across the room for the first time is more what you might expect: physical attractiveness and their personality in conversation. Cooking and the related grocery shopping, especially in the produce aisle. I went through all of college through my late 20s without ever meeting a guy who was a good cook and liked to cook. If I did, I would jumped him and nabbed him right away. Finally got married to one who doesn't do any of these things but is great in many other respects: looks, smarts, success. But still I sometimes regret it. It's not just the whole, help split up the cooking thing, but I'm always dreamed of having a man who cooks with me. The whole egg in the mountain of flour and kneading the dough and cutting the pasta together thing. It takes enjoying good food and wine together to a whole nother level. It's not the same when I make it myself or when we go out. People say I am a good cook, but I hate cooking with other people. Every time I've done it, it changes your role from chef to project manager, and I really hate balancing what I have to do with figuring out what someone else should do. I'll still cook for people anytime, but let me pace it myself. I feel the same. I want to enjoy cooking with my BF, but I am just multitasking and explaining every single thing that it's just frustrating, skeptical smiley face. Active listening skills. Hearing me and understanding me is not the same thing as responding in a way that makes me feel heard and understood. So I'm not gonna go through and answer every single reactionary response here, trying to distinguish the difference between active listening that makes the person feel heard and passive listening. That's what Google is for. Flexibility. There are many flexible women, but for men it's pretty rare and harder to achieve. So that makes it really cool and attractive. Emo. You mean like putting the feet behind your neck kind of flexibility? Guy. Can confirm people don't like it when I do that. When they hand me the tools I ask for and don't include any advice. Being clean. When you go to a guy's apartment and don't feel completely disgusted, but actually pleasantly surprised by how clean it is. Hot. The first time my friends came to do a group project, the only girl of the group said my room was too clean. This can't be real. 10 minutes of friendly argument about how a guy can clean and she still didn't believe me. I just vroomed the room before they came. Storytelling. A man who can convincingly pretend to be a character he came up with on his own in IRC roleplay. Or can build a world and play multiple NPCs as a tabletop game master. It demonstrates creativity, thinking outside the box, keeping track of multiple things not related to oneself, and seeing situation from multiple points of view. Being able to give a good massage, cooking and cleaning up the mess afterwards, and cleaning an entire bathroom from the tub to the sink, planning anything, being romantic spontaneously. Better yet, showing off these skills without being asked to do so. Being a good listener. I personally think that my partner is my best friend and that I am his. so that is a rare thing that I appreciate. A lot of people don't listen. They hear you and give you solution or opinion. But sometimes, I just need personally to feel that somebody understands what I am talking about. Really. Deeply. Plus being good at planning and math. I am a bit messy, so it is really something I like because it helps me become more organized. Also having a deep and interesting conversation and making people feel at ease. I have a weird one, being able to reverse into parking spots effortlessly. I don't know why, but I melt whenever my boyfriend does this. He just seems so confident driving backwards. Anything they know that I don't know. It's really attractive when someone is an expert at something and I can learn from them. Man here. I'm surprised by how many men that are lacking what should be basic life skills taught by their parents. Yeah, agreed. It's scary. Cleaning and cooking. Seriously guys. Hell, one girl said showering and meant it seriously. What the hell? How are these things just not expected? Cooking, okay. I get that to some extent because it can be a skill some people are really good at. But everyone should be able to cook a basic meal. I don't know how some people make it to tomorrow sometimes. I remember having a conversation with a woman at work who had assumed I was married because I brought a decent meal to work to eat for my lunch. She didn't realize that men can cook. This thread makes the bar seem so low. I wonder why I'm still single. I can cook, wash dishes, clean the bathroom, and shower. My fingernails are neatly trimmed and I just clipped my toenails yesterday. Ladies, please PM me if I sound like a catch to you. Smiley face.